Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 2, Episode 13. Get your drinks, get your snacks. I got a feeling I'm going to be talking for a long time because I got a lot to say, and I got the room to myself, and I don't know for how long. So half of this might be on camera, half of it might be a voiceover. It's a surprise. I don't know what's going to happen. So let's hurry up because I'm already talking too much, right? Okay. Get right. Y'all, she left out the room. I was getting dressed. I threw the sweatshirt on and ran over to the camera. Okay. All right. So I guess we can start out talking. Let's do couple by couple. I think that'll go the fastest. So I'm actually going to start with Kimmy and Maurice because there's some things that I am noticing there with two of them. And I'm not concerned about divorce or anything, but it's just some, I think the newlywed thing is wearing off. Okay. So Kimmy invites Ticia over. They're going to have some drinks, and Ticia is looking around Kimmy's peaceful house and saying how she's living her best life and she don't have no little kids and she come home and relax. And she was just like, I don't come home and relax. I go to work all day. I'm a nurse, during these times. I go to work all day. I come home and, Maurice is kind of like Marceau when it comes to roles and what men should do and what women should do. He doesn't think he got to wash dishes. He doesn't think he has to do the clothes or mop. And I was just like, oh, now I did not take Maurice to be that type, but let me find out that he is the beige colored version of Marceau. I guess we'll have to see how that goes. But I was thinking to myself, Jalen and the boy are living their Monster, and I didn't mean to call him the boy. I forgot his name for a minute. But Jalen and Monster are living there. Do they not have any type of chores or anything where they can help around the house while you're gone? And I mean, does he believe that even they shouldn't do it either? Because that's kind of what I was getting. And then I'm thinking also to myself, I also can be quite traditional about things. But if I see something that needs to be done, I'm probably going to do it. If you're not there or if you're at work or if you've had a long day, if I see some trash, I'm going to take the trash out. If I'm at work all day and the dishes are kind of getting high, go ahead and wash them. I don't know. If I cooked it, you mind washing the dishes? Like that type of thing. But I don't know, child. We're going to keep our eye on that. What did y'all think about that? So then we move forward and they get into a little conversation about Scott Manor. Kimmy's not really feeling the idea. I'm going to talk about that more when I talk about her and Maurice. Ticia then goes into a conversation about loyalty. And she says that things are going on with Mel, and she doesn't really want Kimmy to fall for that whole thing when it comes to Mel again, I guess, as far as them being cool, because Mel is a mean girl, and I need to know that you got Ticia's back. I need to know that you're here for, you're 10 toes down for Ticia. I'm so tired of y'all saying 10 toes down, child. Y'all know y'all are wear it out. But Kimmy is just like, what are you talking about? I am here for you. I am loyal to you. We have talked about this, and it kind of hurts me that this whole time you've been thinking that I wasn't loyal to you. I love you. I got your back. I definitely have Ticia's back. I'm trying to figure out what it is that Ticia really wants. Does she want somebody? Is it the support that's the problem? Is it the loyalty that's the problem? Or is it the fact that Kimmy will call you out if she feels like you're doing something that's not correct? Is that the problem? Like, let's be clear about what the problem is, because at the age that you and Kimmy are at, you guys are upwards of 35. I don't know too many people who are going to be a yes man around that age. Most people do not want to do that, family, friend, or foe. We just not doing that anymore. And why should they? Part of having a sister or being a sister friend to somebody is when you feel like they wrong, you call it. Shoot, y'all call me down here in these comment sections. So I don't really know what it is Ticia's wanting, but I'll talk more about her later when I get to her and Marceau, because what I have to say actually plays into their conversation as well. So Kimmy and Maurice meet up later on because Maurice is trying to show the office space off, and Kimmy is just like, you are going over budget. You're spending a lot of the money. I want to make sure everything that we do makes sense. And Maurice is just like, babe, it's going to make sense, but my space has got to be better than Marceau's. I want Marceau to be jealous. And I was just like, oh, this is okay. I mean, it's a little childish, but okay. And Kimmy was like, you are your own competition. We're not in competition with anybody. Okay, don't have to be competitive about office space. Just make sure we stay within budget. And I could see a little bit of the tense, like all up in her neck. Y'all know when Kimmy starts smiling, but she don't want to smile. She just kind of be like, okay, all right. And I'll be like, oh, child, she looked like she about to blow a gasket. So a couple of things happen in this scene. So we moved over to Scott Manor. Now, I will tell you guys, I am biased on the idea of Scott Manor because I grew up around my family. I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but my great-grandfather and his two brothers bought some land back in the day. Probably, my grandma was born over there, so it must have been around the late 30s, early 40s, somewhere around there. They bought some land. They divided it up amongst themselves and then further divided it up amongst their children, which some of them are still living today. A lot of them have, passed on, which would be my great-grandparents. And so then they passed it on not to my great-grandparents, passed it on to their children, which would be my grandparents and her siblings, which some of them are still living today. And then they further passed it to their children, which would be my mother and her cousins. And then they will probably pass it on to us. And that's where it's all getting a little dicey. And I'm actually in talks with my grandma about this because I don't want nobody to sell out. So I'm trying to figure out where I need to get in to make sure that we all on the same page. Because y'all know how family do, especially when some money get involved. I hope we all hold on to the legacy, but y'all know how people do. But it's about 19 houses around that area. And no, it's not like a neighborhood where it's a house here, a house there, house there. It's like a house, maybe 1 or 2 acres of land, then a house, then maybe some more space, than a house. There are some people who live within like close walking distance of each other. But for the most part, we are fairly spread out. And if I want to go to my cousin's house, I got to do a good little walk across the field or drive down the road, what have you. But it's about 19 people. And we are not all in each other's business. But if we have not seen you, we are knocking. We are calling. Especially if you ain't told nobody where you was going. But I grew up that way, right? I couldn't sneak. Ain't no sneaking nobody over. Ain't no sneaking. Because you're going to get caught. Because somebody is going to see what's going on. So I grew up that way. So I'm a little biased. And I love it. I love the fact that we have that land in the family. I love the fact that my great-grandfather and his brothers were trying to think ahead of the game. I appreciate it. I really do. I used to not appreciate it when I was younger because I didn't know no better. I wanted to live in a neighborhood like my friends and not out in the country. But now I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Kimmy is not sold on the idea, though. And I can understand how you wouldn't be if you did not grow up that way or if you can't really see yourself living around a certain group of people, hence the Scotts. Now, I think Kimmy I want her to be more open-minded about it, but I also want her to ask, where Wanda gonna be living? Because I'm not living next door to Wanda. She got to be over there. She can't see my house. We gonna have to build a fence or something. But I can understand her concern. I hope she opens up to the idea, though. I also hope she opens up to the idea of Jalen getting an internship. Maurice said he shouldn't be working at a job just for the sake of work ethic that he doesn't want to be in. He should be in his field and he should be doing this. And Kimmy is just like, look, you ain't worked regular in so long. You don't know what's going on. It's not just as simple as filling this out and popping up. I get Kimmy. She was a single mother for many years. Her son has beat the odds, and she does not want him to get lazy. I have seen it happen. I have seen folks come home from school and literally just lay around if you give them too much free space. So I see her concern, but I think Jalen is aware of her expectations, and I don't see him going that route, but maybe it's a conversation they can all have. And then he can commence to maybe finding something else more geared towards his field, even if it could be possibly working for free, which is a lot of times what an internship can be. So I kind of agree with them both, and hopefully they can sit down and work it out. But right then, she wasn't trying to hear it. And let me tell you what I think this is. Kimmy has done a lot of compromising when it comes to Maurice, and I saw a lot of the fans talking about Kimmy, and I was just like, I wonder if y'all been... Let's go back to season 1 now, real quick. Now, I agree that she could be a little bit more open-minded towards the two situations, but I'm going to tell you where I think her "I'm not doing it" is coming from. Maurice and Kimmy dated for many, many years. She did not get a proposal until like year 7, 6, or 8, somewhere around there, right? They get married. Then he eases in the fact that he wants to get full custody of Monster. He does so. He promises Kimmy that she's not going to have to raise another son by herself, but that is her concern. I wonder how that's going. Then you got Kiowa and all that drama that never got nipped in the bud. Then after that, you got him wanting her to quit the nursing job, and she's telling him, look, real estate is just something on the side for me. I like to have consistency in my work. And in all honesty, you guys, them nurses, sometimes I got my nurse friends, I swear they only work 8 days out of the calendar month. The rest of the time, it seems like they just be off. So there's no telling what kind of schedule she has. And it might be quite enjoyable. You just never really know. Everybody assumes, well, not during the pandemic, but everybody assumes that these nurses are working like these grueling schedules every day. And I promise you, I know some that I be wondering how they still on payroll. Then you got her house. I think that is the home she has always had, and Maurice has moved into that home, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. You know, she obviously cooks, cleans, puts it down in the bedroom. That seems to be common knowledge amongst the cast. And Cedric, who love himself some Kimmy, don't think I forgot. And seems like she's been doing a lot of things to make sure that her marriage is right, her relationship is right, and Maurice is comfortable. And I think she ain't saying yes to no more. Okay, she ain't saying yes to no more, but I think Maurice is used to hearing some yeses. And yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go, y'all. I don't know I don't know how this is gonna go. I hope they're gonna be all right though. And I feel like she's gonna compromise on the Scott Manor thing in the long run. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that whole situation. So then we move to Ticia and Marcel. Child, let me tell you, when they get to the office and Ticia is telling Marcel about what happened with Kimmy and how I'm the type of person that, you know, I need to know that you're there for me. I need to know, even from you, like, I need to hear you say that I love you. Like, sometimes I just need to hear that. Okay, Ticia's love language must be words of affirmation and whatever the other one when she want people around. It must be those two, and I'm not opposed to that. I get it. But you also have to make sure that you are not relying on things from other people that you need to feel within yourself. You need to feel that you got your own back. You need to feel confident in yourself. You need to have a lot of self-love. Even Marcel, while she was talking, he was just kind of looking off like, like, I know my wife. I already know how this is going to go. And he tells her, listen, maybe you just need to start, you know, seeing where you need to put people in your life. But also realizing they can still be a part of your life, but maybe not in the same way that you thought before. And you just continue to still be the friend that you need to be to her. And I think he said that because he know his wife. He know what Ticia probably is asking for. It's probably a lot from most people, but maybe not from him because he is the husband. So he's used to giving it. I just think she wants a level of attention from a friend that maybe you're not necessarily going to get. And I've known other girls like this, and the friendship hasn't worked because I only got, you know, we're all grown, we working every day. I can't, you know, they would be upset that you didn't call and check on them on some Wednesday about something. I'll be like, girl, I didn't even know that was going on. Like, you start to feel like you almost a man, right? So I'm not saying Ticia wants it in that extreme, but she definitely wants some loyalty that I don't know if, I don't know. She also wants somebody to not tell her when she's wrong. And even Kimmy brought that up. And Maurice was like, babe, I think that, you know, she'll appreciate it if you just do this. She was like, no, I don't think she's looking at it that way when I try to, you know, say something that I think was not right on her part. She doesn't really appreciate it. It's not really going that way. And so I'm not really sure where I see their relationship going. I just think that Ticia, sometimes it feels like she is asking for a lot from everybody, and it's things that I feel she needs to work on possibly within herself. So she's not always asking for those things. And then she didn't tell the truth either. She was like, Kimmy was just basically like, I don't know what you want me to do. And I was like, that is not what she said. She did say she had your back, so I ain't really like that. I ain't really like how she was talking in that office. All right, so there's that, you know, with the whole thing. They're also upset about she don't want to move to Scott Manor. Then Miss Wanda comes in, and you guys, the interaction between Wanda and Marcel is so funny. I used to not like it, but now it just makes me laugh. Marcel is like, why are you here? And y'all know Wanda, what? I came here, I had to come to the bank. What you mean? I banked down here, so I had to come downtown. Y'all heard about Melody? I heard that girl was pregnant. And he was like, let me ask you a question. Are you being messy right now? And she's like, no, I'm not being messy. She was being messy. Meanwhile, she down there with a wedding ring on, talking about how Martell had messed up, and she got a boyfriend with a ring on. So Marcel is just like, you need to be quiet, and you need to mind your business, because we minding our business, but you need to be quiet about that while you running around here sitting with your ring on, and you got a boyfriend and a husband on the side. So we don't need to hear from you. So after that, Wanda can't really do nothing but laugh. Talking about, well, I know I need to go ahead and get the divorce. Yeah, go ahead and get the divorce, Miss Wanda, and quit coming over here talking about marriage and what everybody need to do. Telling Marcel, you better not ever think about doing that to this one. And here we go again. You know, Ticia got her mouthpiece over there. And Marcel was just like, yeah, like I said, mind your business and worry about your husband boyfriends. So not much there. We're going to move on. There actually was one little part where when Wanda did say something to Marcel, she was just like, well, birds of a feather. And how about Ticia gonna come out her mouth and say, Marcel and Martell weren't even really that close. They weren't even, I said, now we're not finna rewrite history, Ticia. Now you already had done got on my nerves a little bit with all that crying and quivery voice and saying how you needed all this extreme loyalty and all this other stuff. Now you about to get on my nerves talking about they wasn't really close. Which is it? Season 1, it was y'all was like brothers. Okay, season 1 is the Holtz had helped us out. They gave us one of their cars. They helped my husband out when we was having a rough time. They were like brothers. Okay, season 1 did Marcel, Arian dropped this tea. Marcel bought a car for Arian on behalf of Martell so it wouldn't look funny on Martell's side. Arian already told us that. So how you gonna tell me they not close? They close enough to be doing something. And I was just like, see, this kind of stuff. Y'all not finna rewrite seasons. I went off on Ticia in my head when I was watching the episode because I kind of practiced my review in my head. I went off on her in my head. I am going very light compared to how I was going in my mind. But she really, she's, let me stop because I feel myself about to go in. I'm not going to do it. But this is why people think you are younger than you are, because you get to whining and you get to just talking out the side and I'm sorry, y'all. Let me continue. I feel like I'm about to go in. All right. So, let's move. I guess we can go ahead and go on to Martellit and Melody. So Martellit goes to talk to one of his friends because he had a development deal in the works and he done messed up the development deal because of all his drama that's out here in social media. The developers want to take his name off the project. I don't know if they want to take him off, but they definitely want his name off. So it's not going to be any more Holt, whatever it was going to be. The developers don't want it. And so the friend is just like, man, it's all your fault. You messed it up for everybody. It's all your fault. You got your business out, man. You need to take care of your business. So Martell is just kind of like, you know what? It's all right. We're gonna fix it. You know, you just got to take control of the narrative. And that right there is when I knew Martell was really about to cut up. That's when I knew. And so he was sitting there just like, well, listen, you know, I just got to get my stuff. I'm going to get my stuff together and the development is going to be fine. And he was just like, he was also telling them how he was going to I can't get my words out, look into getting custody of the children. And he wants the children to be with him and how he's going to get full custody. He said, you know, you wrong for taking them kids away from their mama. Like, you don't need to be doing all of that. He was like, look, if I'm the dominant parent, I'm just like, who says the dominant parent? But okay, if I'm the primary parent and I'm the one doing everything and I'm the one around my kids, you right. I'm gonna get full custody. And he was just like, Martellit, I just don't even know where you're going. And he was like, I'm about to lose my wife. I'm about to lose my family. He was like, yeah, did you think about all of that when you was doing what you was doing? Do you know Martellit turned around and asked him, did he think about it when he was out there cheating? I said, see, Why you gotta put Chris' business out on Front Street like that? Chris just trying to keep it real with you. Chris done been through the situation. How you know him and his wife wanted his business out? But you know what, Chris? I guess that's what happened when you go on reality TV. You couldn't trust Martellit with my secrets on national television. And so Chris is just like, no, I didn't. You know, he didn't really miss a beat. He was just like, no, I didn't think about it. And I cheated, and me and my wife, we worked through it. But I'm going to tell you what, I wasn't cutting up no food, losing development deals. So, you know, I liked Chris because Chris didn't play the radio with Martellit. And then they move on to, let me move to Melody. Melody is looking at houses. The house was huge, but she said she got 4 children. Why would she downgrade? She gonna upgrade. It was a beautiful home. Definitely some stuff she'll probably have to renovate on the inside because it looked older on the inside, but child, still beautiful. If somebody bought it for me, I'm getting up in there. Beautiful home. Melody looked good with the tea. She looked very good. I love the fact that she done got that, whatever that situation is, out. She done got rid of that bright blonde, this more natural bob. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Melody stylist. Whoever did it, thank you. We've been trying to find the right fit. That suit was bomb. I want it. I don't know what it was, but it was cute. It was really cute. So she got a realtor who is Destiny, showing her around, and it's more I'm about to be on my own, doing my own thing, and I got to get everything together, and Martell was tripping. He gonna tell me he want full custody, all this other stuff, right? Okay. So they get that out the way. She is planning on moving out of the house since Martellit is not going to leave. Now, I'm trying to think, am I missing anything? Oh, her mother does come over. Her mother was very encouraging, very disappointed in Martellit. Can't believe he's behaving this way, but she's still very encouraging to Mel, which I love. She always is. But y'all, I'm scared. Okay, I'm going to just jump straight to the ending. I am very, very scared because Martellit made mention of the fact that he was still doing everything he needed to do at the house. He wasn't really showing too many red flags, but he was still cheating, and it didn't take away from his home, is what he said. And y'all, I'm so concerned about this because even Melody has said she really didn't notice too many changes at first with Martellit when he first started cheating. So it makes me wonder, like, can you marry somebody and then they completely switch up on you in the middle of y'all's marriage to the point where, you didn't even see any red flags? Like, it makes me nervous because people are always like, well, you had to see red flags. You had to know, you had to see. And what if you really don't see until it's too late? Woo, y'all, that scared me because Martellit, this man right here cannot be the man she been living with all these years. If it is, God bless her patience, Same with Mel. Is this the same Mel he been with, the whole time? I'm not talking about this season with the divorce. Even other times with Mel, I've been like, she is definitely a firecracker that could be a lot to deal with depending on who you are. So, I mean, but Martellit really has pulled the bait and switch for real. For real. This is not the person that everybody is always describing when it comes to Martellit. Definitely not. So, okay. So anyway, y'all remember last week Martellit says maybe he needs to be more like Marsau and he needs to tell Mel to stay in her place. When he said the dominant parent and you got to control the narrative, I think this is the angle that Martellit is going for. Okay? Thought somebody was coming in. Martellit is going for it, not only with being like assertive and trying to exert his control, but also trying to change the narrative and also trying to make Mel look crazy. Which he's doing a good job of doing that. So Martellit had said that he should maybe put Mel in her place, kind of like how Marsau rolls. And I'm just like, well, yeah, if you wanted to do that, you should have got a woman like Marsau. God, we see what kind of woman Ticia is. She's not really going to push back that much. You got you a woman with the pushback. And that's why I say I'm wondering, has she always been that woman or did she start becoming that woman? And even if she did start becoming that woman, Didn't you help to create it because you pushed her out of teaching and pushed her into real estate? You wanted her to be a boss. You wanted her to do events. You wanted her to do more and more and more. And then when she started getting more of the glory than you did, you got upset about it. So did you help create if Mel is a monster, my question is, did you help create it? Okay, if she is. I didn't say she was. I said, if she is, did you help create it? Right? So anyway, I want people to stop marrying people and trying to mold them into who you want them to be. Like Judge Toll always say, you get the man or woman that you choose. And that goes for Martell, Melody. If Martell was the same way back in the day, I don't know. That goes for Maurice, who wants Kimmy to obviously be more of a traditional housewoman that says, yes, you knew you got a boss when you was with her. Don't try to change him into who you want him to be. You get the person that you chose, basically. All right. I done went off on another tangent. So all that to say, I'm just wondering when the switch happened. Because he gets over there later during Mel's weekend or week with the kids, and he was like, if you think I'm not going to see my children for 2 weeks, you outside of your mind, because I'm not that kind of parent. Which I do think 2 weeks is a long time to have the kids and then switch off. Maybe week to week would be better. Like, I do think that's a long period of time. But that's what they worked out, so fine. And she was like, well, this is what you agreed to. He said, no, this is what you wanted. This is not what I agreed to. This is what you wanted. This is what you told me we was going to do. So that's when they realized they about to get into an argument. So he asked the kids to go into the house. And I'm really concerned about this because the kids had said something like, okay, y'all have a nice chat. So even the kids know they about to argue. She take the baby. Mariah, the oldest daughter, take the baby. That baby is always on her hip. I'm concerned. I am concerned about the effect that this is having on the children. I really am. And you can tell she is used to handling the three of them. And then she goes in the house, and that could end up being bad too. But I ain't got time to talk about that. But she goes on in the house. So they get to arguing. The argument is terrible. Melody is yelling. Melody is rolling up in his face. Melody is hot. Okay, she walking back and forth. She making inaudible noises like, ooh. And I was just like, Mel, do not let him do this to you. He comes up to her and says, you were always cheating. That's why you wasn't giving me what I needed, because you was giving somebody else what they needed. You started cheating first. And Mel was just like, he is lying. I am not going to film with a liar. Like, she is so... I know she mad, y'all. I know she is, because he probably is texting her one thing, calling her, and then saying another thing on camera. But I was like, Mel, get right, girl. Get right. Do not make you look like this on camera. But it was too late, honey. That bob was flying. She was pissed. So then, okay, I'm almost at the end. So then after that, while he's gaslighting her, he's just over there like, what is wrong with you? Oh my God, look how she is acting. Oh my goodness. And I was just like, oh my gosh, Mel. Oh gosh, it was so frustrating to sit there and watch that. Now, the producers come out, they kind of break it up because they don't want anything to happen. They still going back and forth. Now, did y'all hear through the bleeps that Melody said, I ain't never been a D? I can't say the word, or a D sucker. Did y'all hear her say that when they got to talking about what she didn't do sexually? I was just like, nah, I mean, I ain't saying anybody has an excuse to cheat because of that. I ain't saying that. But what I am saying is, I mean, look, I don't know. Let me just mind my business on that. I mean, now, ladies, now y'all know we got to do that, right? And I have to tell too much of my business, but I don't really see what the problem is. And why it's so hard. But everybody, different strokes for different folks. Let me get off here. I ain't fooling with y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all for the next one. And let me know what you think. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.